Usually, use, get, or be used to. What is the difference, Teacher Prix? Watch this video and find out. If you don't know me very well, hi, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Consider subscribing to this channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you on your journey to fluency. So I appreciate you becoming part of this beautiful community of students from all over the world who want to achieve English fluency. Now learn the difference. We have usually, use, be, or get used to, and they are used differently. And that's what I want to talk about in this English lesson, and I prepared a short exercise for you at the end, so stay with me. Now, the first thing, don't say this. Oh, teacher, I used to buy grocery on weekends. Here, this is a very common mistake, and that's why I decided to start with the verb use. The word use in most situations is a verb, okay? And when students use this way, I use to buy grocery. I cannot use the verb use to describe what you're trying to say. Instead of saying I used to buy, I need to use something else, because in this case, use is a verb, okay? Can use have different uses? Yes, use can be a noun. But in this case, in most situations, you're gonna have this verb as an action. And when it's an action, you need an object. I use the phone, I use the bathroom, I use Teacher Prix's lessons to improve my English. Yes, awesome. So what are you trying to say here? I will show you on the next slide. But this is a common mistake. So I cannot use the word use this way. I used to do. And I'm not using the past. Maybe the subtitles could be wrong, but I'm using the verb use. I use to study in the morning. No, that is incorrect. You're describing frequency. You're describing something that is normal for you to do, that is typical, that is usual. In that situation, you're gonna use usually, because usually is what you're looking for. That is an adverb. I usually, now we can go back. I usually buy, no preposition, because usually is an adverb. There's no preposition there. I usually buy grocery on weekends. So what am I describing with usually? Something that is common, that I usually do, that is normal for me to do. There are two possible translations here. Or I am describing frequency, very often, most often. Or I am describing something that is typical, normal for me to do, to be, to have, okay? It is usual. So these are the two possible definitions of usually. So when you say, I used to buy grocery on weekends, what you're actually trying to show me is, Priscilla, it is usual for me, it is normal for me, it is common for me, or it is very frequent, it is very often for me to buy groceries on weekends. This is a habit of mine. This is something I typically do. Therefore, use is not good for you. Don't use use. Use usually. And here I have other examples with use. I use my computer to work. Yes, actually, this is true. I'm using my computer right now. I also use other gadgets, other accessories, but the computer is one very important element. May I use your phone? Of course, you may use my phone. No, you may not use my phone. Sorry, it is private, and you're too far to be able to use my phone. Now, I prefer to use Waze to Google Maps. Which one do you prefer to use? Waze or Google Maps? I prefer to use Waze if I'm driving. Okay, if I'm driving, I use Waze. If I'm walking, I use Google Maps. And you could be thinking, Priscilla, do you use Google Maps when you're walking? Yeah, sometimes I get lost in my own city. That happens. Usually, as I said, it's an adverb. It's the way that something is that is normal for you. It is usual, or very frequently, very often. And here I have some examples. I usually buy grocery on weekends because I don't have much time during the week. So I complement it. Why do I usually buy grocery on weekends? Because I don't have much time during the week. So I usually buy grocery on weekends. Does that mean I always buy grocery on weekends? No, usually on weekends. But there may be a weekend or two when, well, I didn't go grocery shopping. That's okay. What do you usually eat while watching movies? What is usual? It's not frequency anymore. What is typical for you? What is normal for you to eat while watching movies? Do you usually eat popcorn? Do you usually eat chocolate? Do you eat nothing? You don't eat. Teacher, I don't eat. I just watch the movie and enjoy the movie. No problems. Okay? Tim is usually so friendly. I don't know why he's acting so strange today. Maybe you have a friend who is usually very nice, see? Who is usually nice, who is usually friendly, but on a certain day, that person is completely the opposite. In a bad mood, looking funny. So you think to yourself, wow, what is wrong with Tim? He's usually so friendly, so thoughtful, but today he is acting so strange. He's acting. He's behaving in a strange way. Okay, so that is the idea. Now, be used to, and then I will get used to because they're different. Be used to is a verb, okay? Be used to. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of passive voice because use can be used in the passive voice. The meaning, depending on what you're saying, is different. So there are many uses to a verb, depends on the conjugation you're using, okay? But here, be used to. That's the combo I have here, okay? And when I use this, this verb, I can use it in the past, I can use it in the present, I can use it in the future, as long as you find context. Context is king, and hitting the like button is the prince. Now, when you use be, not get, be used to, you're describing something that you are familiar with. You are accustomed with. It's okay for you. You understand. You're familiar with that. Okay? When I say understand, I'm not talking about a lesson. I'm not talking about understanding how to do something. Oh, how to do a calculation, the translation of a verb. No. You're accustomed with a situation, with something that happens. So you're familiar with that action, with that situation. Look at the examples. This is true for me. I am used to working out in the morning. This is true. So when I say I am used to working out in the morning, it is different if I say I usually work out in the morning. So if I say I usually work out in the morning, it could be frequency. It could be something that is usual for me to do. But when I say I am used to working out in the morning, I am saying that in terms of working out, I am familiar, I am accustomed with doing this exercise in the morning, doing this action in the morning. That's where I feel comfortable with. That's my habit. That's when I feel comfortable doing that. So I am accustomed with that action, with that routine. That's the idea. I'm used to it. And keep in mind that if I use a verb, which is very common, after used to, the verb that comes next will be in the ing form. I'm used to working out. I'm used to calling. I'm used to eating. I'm used to drinking. I'm used to dancing. He's not used to talking. ing. Okay? Got it? Awesome. Tim's still sleeping. He's not used to waking up early. So it's not common for him. He's not familiar with waking up early. He's not accustomed with that habit of waking up early. So that is the idea of be used to. You can use it in the present. You can use it in the past, in the future. You just have to find context. And remember, if you're asking a question, if you're making an affirmative sentence, you have to conjugate verb to be. If it's present, I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, you are, they are. If it's past, I was, you were, he was, she was, they were. Okay? If it is future, then you're going to need will be. okay? Or would be, if you're using conditional. Present perfect, I've been used to. It's possible, but should you? That's my point, okay? You need to find a context. Now, before I move on, share this video with a friend, subscribe to the channel. That really helps the channel grow. But let's keep going. The next one is get used to. Get used to may be similar to be used to, but there's a difference, okay? They are not the same. Because when I use the verb get, I am indicating becoming used to, becoming acquainted, okay? Accustomed, not acquainted. Becoming accustomed with something, becoming familiar with something. When I use be, it's being. I am right now, okay? But become indicates the process of the familiarity, becoming familiar with the process, becoming accustomed with the process until it's no longer unusual. So when you start, it's unusual, but after a while, you become familiar, okay? So let's bring this to a context. I moved to a new apartment. This is new. It looks the same, but it's a new apartment. I can use continuous. I am getting used to this apartment. What is the translation? I am adapting. I am becoming accustomed with this new place that I'm leaving. If I use I am used to this apartment, I change it. I'm not becoming. I already am. Oh, I'm used to this apartment. Yeah. So you see, the translation changes. If I say, oh, I am used to this new apartment already. Not a process. But if I say, I'm getting used to this apartment, then it's fine. If I use the past, then it means the process is complete. Oh, I got used to it already. I got used to this new apartment. Then the process is complete. But look, here I'm saying I'm using the past to indicate that idea, okay? Oh, I moved to a new apartment. I don't like it. Oh, Priscilla, give it some time. You will get used to it. So future. You will become familiar with this apartment. You will become accustomed with this apartment. Give it time, it'll happen. I'm getting used to it. This is my answer, my official answer, okay? I am getting used to this new apartment. I believe that by the time I get used to this apartment, I will be moving again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, to my own apartment. That's my life goal at this moment. Saving up to make a down payment for my apartment, which is a challenge. But hey, don't stop believing. Anyway, I'm sad my family and I are moving to Boston, but we will get used to it. So look, a family is moving to a new state, to a new city, and then they can feel sad. Yeah, I'm sad, we're moving, but the family, we will get used to it. We will become accustomed with this new change, moving to a new city, the process, becoming familiar, becoming comfortable in a way, becoming accustomed with this new change, with this new action, okay? This is true for me. I would never get used to people calling me ma'am. I feel young, okay? And I know that in many cases it's out of respect, okay? People are using respectful language, hence the word ma'am. However, I feel a little hurt, okay? I feel like, hey, I'm young. Look at me. I go to bed at 9, yes, but I'm young, yo. I don't like noise. I don't like parties. I just like coffee and plants. But hey, I'm young. So I will never become accustomed with people calling me ma'am, okay? So I will never get used to it. I don't know, maybe I will. Maybe when I'm really old, then I'll be okay. I'm gonna be, yeah, sure. I'm an old lady. Yeah. Now, here's an exercise for you, okay? I have 11 sentences here, and I'm going to play the video with the answers, okay? But take a look at the sentences. You can either use usually, and if you use usually, you need verb to be. I am usually, he is usually, we are usually, I'll be usually, okay? You need verb to be. If you only use, then it can be present, it can be past, it can be future, you name it. And if you're using be, used to, then you use verb to be conjugated. And if you use get, you will conjugate the verb get, okay? And I have here 10 sentences, 11, excuse me. I will read the 11 sentences, and what is my recommendation? After I read the sentences, pause the video. Because I'm not gonna be here, right? Pause the video, do the exercise, because after I read all the sentences, I will show the answer. So if you're truly committed, and I want to know if you did it, okay? Post in the comments. Pause the video, answer calmly, take a screenshot. Okay, take a screenshot right now. Do it, patiently. Pause the video, and then when you're done, then you play next so that you can see the correction. Okay, so let's look at the sentences together. So number 1, Esther, blah, 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 your type. So here is a negative in the present. Number 2, wrong about people, negative, present, okay? 3, Mom, can I use, can I, you got it, right? Your computer for homework, so it's infinitive without to. Number 4, and then I realize how many stupid times a day I, blah, 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 the word I, present affirmative. Number 5, I think it's safe to say I, blah, 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 never, blah, 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 to that smell, future. When I say future, I mean will, not be going to, no. Elena, blah, 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 been turned down, negative, present. I guess it's because when I talk, I, blah, 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 my hands a lot, present, affirmative, okay? If I didn't put anything, present, it's affirmative. Number 8, so I, blah, 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 being on my own, past affirmative. The next one, number 9, I, blah, 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 too exhausted by the end of the day to do anything fancy, present affirmative. 10, I, blah, 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 cooking with all salt when Jack got sick, past affirmative. But like any job, I, blah, 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 it, past affirmative. So what is your job? To pause right now, stop right now, answer the questions. Complete. Remember, usually, use, be, get used to. If you use usually, you need verb to be in the proper conjugation. Use, past, present, you know. Be, get used to. What's the conjugation? So you do it. Now, screenshot, and let's take a look at the answers, shall we? So let's go.
Esther is not used to your type.
Usually not wrong about people.
Can I use your computer for homework?
And then I realized how many stupid times a day I use the word I.
I think it is safe to say I will never get used to that smell.
Helen is not used to being turned down.
I guess it's because when I talk, I use my hands a lot.
So I got used to being on my own.
I'm usually too exhausted by the end of the day to do anything fancy.
I got used to cooking without salt when Jack got sick.
Like any job, I got used to it.
Very nice. And after you do the exercise, hopefully you can share the answer here in the comments, how the experience was, if you enjoyed it, if you would like to see more exercises like this one. Other than that, my friends, subscribe to the channel. If possible, share this video with a friend. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.